Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today, I'm going to help you with avoiding unproductive habits. Sometimes we are not winning to the best of our abilities is because we have some habits that are not serving us well. So the key becomes identifying those habits and avoiding them at all costs. That's what we're talking about today. So hustle on in here, click that like button, click that share button, and comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and your brand, and let's kick it this morning.
Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Monetize My Life Academy studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you are looking to turn your gifts, talent, special abilities, experience, or expertise into a business, then we got the tools, templates, training, support, and resources to help you do just that. Check out monetizemylifeacademy.com. You can test drive the system for just $1 and see what we have to offer. monetizemylifeacademy.com. Today we're talking 8 unproductive habits to avoid at all costs. If you are watching us live on the book or on YouTube or LinkedIn, drop in the comments the name of your business and or your brand. We give free business shout outs. This is also Free Game Friday. So if you got questions about business, branding, or marketing, then drop those questions and we will answer those directly during today's live hour. A couple quick announcements. I mentioned Monetize My Life Academy earlier. It is $97 a month, and it's going to $147 per month at the end of this month. So if you haven't done your due diligence to see if it's a good fit for you, then you definitely want to do that before the end of the month, before the price goes up. Also, our Facebook group, y'all, and I'm not saying this because it's me, but that Facebook group is lit, right? Digital Empire Builders Worldwide. Go join that Facebook group if you want free marketing tips and training on how to increase your online presence and grow your brand. And then finally, for not only myself, but all social media creators, all content creators all across the world, if you're on Facebook, then we are now monetized on Facebook. What does that mean? That means if you see something that you like, you can give us stars. So I got the link in the comments in the description, man. Give your favorite content creators stars because they're doing their best and what they're passionate about to help you in whatever way. In my case, it's through entrepreneurship, online business, but you have your favorite creators, man. Purchase some stars, give those folks some stars and let them know just how much you appreciate them. It really, really means a lot, y'all. So today we are talking unproductive habits. So we're going to get into that today, but I just realized that my screen name is not right. So let me fix that. There we go. Now we're looking better. So if you're new to the Cortez Hustle Show, the way we start every show is with a quote of the day. And today's quote says this: find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that you love to do, then build a brand and a system around it. I can't remember where I read that from, and I don't want to take credit for things that I didn't come up with, but they say wealthy people find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that they love to do. Now, I did add, then they build a brand around them and a system. And that's what Monetize My Life Academy is about, is helping you build a brand and a system around what it is that you love to do so that you can build some monthly recurring revenue and some passive income in your life. So I want you to think about that. In the comments, give me one or two things that you absolutely love doing, and I promise you there is an income strategy that can be tied to that with the right systems and approaches. Give me in the comments one or two things that you absolutely love to do, right? Find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that you love to do, then build a brand and a system around those things, and you will never have to worry about money again. And you won't have to worry about stress either, because one of the things that stresses us out is we are in situations where we're making money to take care of our families, to take care of our bills. But if we're doing something we detest doing, we're doing something we can't stand to do, that adds stress. The book I read tells me that when God blesses, he doesn't bring any stress with it, right? So I'm not saying go quit your job. I'm saying find something that you can do on the side that you love to do. Find one or two ways to get paid doing it, and you can cut down on your stress. You can add some extra income and revenue to your household. And here's the gem of them all. It brings something that's missing from this society that is needed more than anything else. It brings back a sense of pride and fulfillment in what it is that you do. There's nothing like waking up, going throughout a whole day and wondering if it mattered, right? Well, I don't have to wonder that, because every day that I do this show, every day that I put some content out, every day that I connect with my business community, I know I'm having an impact, even if it's at a very small level. And that creates a sense of fulfillment. That creates a sense of pride on the inside. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the St. Louis Griffins professional basketball franchise. That's right. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, there's a brand new brand that you can hitch your wagon to, and they will bring you all the traffic, all the eyeballs, all the new customers that you want. Check out stlouisgriffins.com/partnerships. I am one of their partners, right? And they have a collective reach of about 500,000 in the St. Louis metro area between their players, their dancers, their organizational staff. So if you go to stlouisgriffins.com/partnerships, you will see that they have some very affordable packages and programs for small businesses to connect, leverage their brand, and get in front of their audience. It is flat out amazing what they're doing in the community. So today we're talking about unproductive habits. I've got this handy dandy document that really breaks down what makes some people successful and other people not. And I want to go over this with you guys today. So that's what today is all about. So let's see. 8 common habits of unproductive people. Groups of people that have similar results have similar habits. This is one thing that I'm learning now, and I keep hearing some of my virtual mentors talking about how they devour books. I don't devour books, y'all. I devour podcasts. I devour YouTube videos, but I don't devour books. And I believe those guys also listen to podcasts. They also listen to YouTube videos, and they also attend conferences, but they devour books. So I've got to start devouring books. I got some on order that I can't wait to get my hands on. But think about the people who are winning in the way that you want to win and find out their habits, y'all. The people have thin people have similar habits. Overweight people have similar habits. Productive people have several habits in common. Likewise, unsuccessful people have several habits in common too. If you're struggling with your productivity, this article is for you. While we're all capable of doing some amazing things from time to time, it's the things we do each and every day that have the greatest influence on our results in life. You simply need a different set of habits if you want to become more productive. Give me one thing in the comments that you absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that is not the most productive habit for you to have, right? Some of us have these vices, they have these things, right? I have a habit of negotiating with myself every morning, right? Bad habit, because some mornings I'm up at 4:35, other mornings I'm not up till 6, and the mornings that I'm not up till 6, it literally throws my day all the way off, right? But yet, in knowing that, I still negotiate with myself every day about what time I'm going to get up in the morning. And it is clear, the evidence bears out that if you, Cortez, get up at 5 a.m. every day, you're more productive, you're more energetic, you're more organized. So why on earth would I be negotiating about that every day? It just is what it is. We have some things that we just have that are just poor habits for us. So give me one of yours in the comments. Don't let me be the only one being vulnerable on this show today, right? For best results, avoid these habits of unsuccessful people. Number one of our 8 habits of unproductive, unsuccessful people is failing to learn. Ooh. People fail to become more productive if they fail to learn and develop. Try to be the best at what you do and learn from each and every day. Like those who are winning and crushing it are lifelong learners, but more importantly, they also implement the things that they learn, the strategies that they learn. They put those things into practice, right? So Cedric Eichelberger, what's up, my brother? It's been a while since we talked. He said, I have a habit of procrastination, right? And I can appreciate that because, yeah, that's something that's a fight for a lot of people, right? So read a book, research articles on the internet, or watch a video on productivity tips. You will likely learn something that will help you to be more productive, right? Productive people are always learning things that will allow them to be more productive, right? So you know what to do, but keep putting it off. Yeah, man. Yeah, you are absolutely right about that. So that's why you guys are getting this article from me today. Is like what I'm struggling with and trying to learn and grow in those areas in my life. I figure I can't be the only one. So I bring them to you guys so we can have these discussions, and hopefully I'm serving as someone who can encourage you that you're not in it alone and that you could tackle some of these things yourself, and especially in a group. And that's why we have the Digital Empire Builders Worldwide group on Facebook, so that you can connect with like-minded people. So number one on our list of 8 productivity habits to avoid is failing to learn. Be a lifelong learner. Allocate some time each and every day to study, to grow, to learn, right? Number 2 on our list, we're talking 8 common habits of unproductive people. Number 2, giving in to distractions. Ooh, yes, I can certainly relate, right? We have more distractions than ever before. there are a lot of distractions that are far more interesting than anything you need to do, right? Focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Remove as many distractions from the area as possible. And then here's what I have to do. I have to plan my time to engage in the distractions, right? There's no way that I'm going to go a whole day without seeing your comments on Facebook, right? So I have to go and check out my latest post. What are people commenting? What are people saying? Engage back with those people. But I don't have to stop and do that every 5 minutes. In his book, Traffic Secrets, right, Russell Brunson lays out a plan on how to do social media without doing social media all day long, right? And I'm trying to see if I can dig this thing out here. So this book right here, Traffic Secrets, he lays out a plan, and in one of his plans, he says he sets aside engagement time, right? There's a time in a day where he sets aside 15 minutes. He goes to his social platforms and he engages with the people who's commenting on his stuff. And that's a very important thing to do, right? But the way I do it is every time I get a notification, I stop what I'm doing and I open up my phone so I can respond, so I can engage. No, turn the notifications off. And once a day or twice a day, maybe 3 times a day, hey, in the morning, I'm going to see who commented last night. I'm going to give them some love, thank them for commenting, engage with them. At lunchtime, I might do the same thing. Before I go to bed, one more time, comment, engage, and check my notifications. But don't do it all day, every day. Don't stop everything that you're doing every couple minutes to go on Facebook, go on IG, go on YouTube and check your comments and engage. That's very important if you're a marketer and you're using social media to market. Engaging with your followers and fans and those that are connecting with you is very, very important. But take a strategic approach to doing it and don't let it be a distraction and an interruption for you all day long, because it certainly can do just that. So if you're new to the Cortez Hustle Show, every day around this time, we do a segment called 1 Minute Motivation. 1 Minute Motivation, where I'm going to play a short motivational clip, usually 60 to 90 seconds or so. I'm going to ask you to comment your takeaways. I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways as well. Today, we've got some Denzel Washington queued up, one of his commencement speeches. So let's get into some 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward.
Hoo-wee. Fail forward. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you hear? Comment in the chat, man. What jumped out at you this afternoon? And make sure you check the show notes and the comments for the actual YouTube channel that video comes from. I like to give credit where credit is due. Hard work works, people. And I think because we have the other saying that says, work smarter, not harder, we assume that there's something wrong with working hard. No, it's the saying says work smarter, not harder. It didn't say don't work hard at all. I hope y'all heard that. The saying is work smarter, not harder. But it didn't say don't work hard at all. If you are going to be successful at anything in this life, in this world, it's going to require hard work. You think the farmers who went from standing behind a mule and a plow work less hard, or do you think they stop working hard because they can jump on a tractor? No, they still work hard. They just have smarter ways to work hard. So don't get it twisted that you work smarter, not harder, means you're not going to work hard. Everybody is looking for a hack today. Everybody is looking for a shortcut. Everybody is looking for a way to avoid the work, including yours truly. I've been more successful in these first 13 days of January than I was in the last half of the year in 2022. Why? Because I'm just doing the work. I'm picking up the phone. I'm making connections. I'm showing up. I'm just doing the work that I've been trying to avoid. I'm doing the work where, yes, I love systems and automation and all of those things, but those things are designed to only get you so far. And then you have to step in. Your human self has to step in and do the work. Make the ask the tough questions, get and receive the feedback, and do the work, right? Doing more doesn't mean you're getting more done. That right there hit me in the gut, because you got to be intentional about what you're doing. You can't just be out here doing a bunch of stuff. No, you got to be intentional. What you're doing has to follow certain principles that lead to the success that you want. Those principles should have you working in processes that will lead to the result that you want. Don't get caught up in doing a bunch of busy work, because movement doesn't always equal progress. And then last but not least, he said, you got to be willing to take some risks, people. Willing to take some risks. One of my clients, the St. Louis Griffins professional basketball franchise, is a prime example of taking risks, right? One of my good friends, Nate Griffin, bought a professional basketball franchise, right? Like, you talk about taking a risk. Why did he do that? Well, he's already the mayor of the small city that we grew up in. And one of his promises on his campaign to become mayor is, I'm going to bring economic stimulus to our community. And when he had an opportunity to buy a professional basketball team, he took a risk, right? He took a risk to lay it all on the line. His money, his time, his energy, his family is involved, right? When was the last time you took a big risk where there is a real opportunity for you to fail? There's a real opportunity for you to embarrass yourself. There's a real opportunity for people to change their opinion of you if it don't go according to plan. When was the last time you risked anything? Fail forward, ladies and gentlemen. That, my friend, is the quote. That is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Local Biz Marketing Mastermind. That is a free Facebook group for small businesses. If you are trying to optimize your online presence, increase your lead flow, grow your revenue, expand your operations, and contribute more to the communities that you serve, then Local Biz Marketing Mastermind is the Facebook group for you. Just look it up, Local Biz Marketing Mastermind. Ask to join, answer the questions. We'll let you in. We'll love on you. We'll provide some tools, some resources to help you as a local small business get the most out of these free platforms. And we have a community of people who are waiting to just love on you and help you do just that. So facebook.com/groups/local biz marketing mastermind. So we're talking 8 habits to avoid, right? These are 8 habits that unproductive, unsuccessful people have, and you do not want any part of them. Number 3 on our list, a lack of emphasis on taking action. See, everybody knows what they could do. Everybody knows what they should do. Everybody talks about if they were in a certain situation with other people, what they would do. And 90% of those people aren't doing anything. Unproductive people often like to plan and learn. Some people love the strategic side of things. However, these same people have a lot less interest in taking action. Planning has its place. Learning is great. Eventually, though, things have to get done if productivity is important. I work with a lot of people, and these people pay me a lot of money to be in my mastermind communities, to be in my systems, to have my tools and my resources. And some of these people never take action on the information that they're getting. They show up and we train. They ask the right questions. They get the answers to those questions. They've got the tools. They've got the resources, but they're not pulling the trigger. Now, we'll give a huge shout out to one of the seniors in our organization, Miss Marianne Douglas. I saw her do a Facebook Live the other day, and I was so freaking proud. She's a senior, figuring out this Facebook, this new technology stuff. She's a senior figuring out, hey, I want my latter years to be greater than my former years, and she's putting in the work. So that makes me proud. But at the end of the day, y'all, you have to put an emphasis on action taken, right? That's me for 2023, right? I was in the shower the other day, and my mentor said, hey, if you take cold showers, it'll change how you move throughout your day. It will help you if you voluntarily put yourself in uncomfortable situations. When life thrusts you into uncomfortable situations, you'll be better prepared, right? So I'm in there taking my cold shower, and the only way that I can get through the cold shower is through praise, right? I literally get in that cold shower, and especially in the wintertime, that water, man, the more it runs, the colder it gets, right? But I literally, the only way I can get through it is by praising God. Like, I have to get out of the fact that the water is cold, and I have to thank God that I've got running water to my house. I don't have to walk in the cold a country mile to get water. Yeah, the water is cold, but when I get out of this cold shower, I'm stepping into a warm bathroom on a warm mat on the floor, right? I want you to think about what you have, right? And so this year, it's like, Cortez, you got to take more action. So as I'm in the cold shower and I'm thinking about, my role in a lot of the things I got my hands on, and I feel like I heard the Holy Spirit say, lead. Lead. Stop waiting on other people to lead, even though it's not your project, even though you don't have an ownership stake, even though it's not your jam. You do what I called you to do, which is lead. The reason that I gave you permission to even be involved with these projects is because the people that I put you in these projects with, they need you to demonstrate leadership. It's like, oh man, really, God? But what if they don't receive it well? What if they feel like I'm trying to take over? Don't worry about that. It's up to me to soften their hearts. You just do what you're supposed to do. So an emphasis on taking action, y'all, is important. It's important that, yes, learn, yes, grow, yes, attend the conference, yes, go to the workshop, yes, read the book, yes, listen to the podcast or the YouTube video. But when you're done listening and taking those notes, go back to those notes the next day and draw out an action plan for what you're going to do with the information that you learned. That was number 4 on our number 3 on our list. Number 4 on the list. Speaking of action plans, number 4 of 8 habits of unsuccessful, unproductive people is they fail to make a plan for the day. I was sharing with my wife the other day. We ordered Brendan Burchard's High Performance Habits. Now, I've read the book twice, and it's one that I'm probably going to read every year, right up there with Think and Grow Rich and some of the other books that are classics that I read every year. Along with the book, I started ordering his High Performance Planner, and it asked me to make a plan every day. And I just haven't been able to get myself in the habit of doing it, but I keep it on my desk and I remind myself every day, man, get into this thing. Because as the great Jim Rohn says, you should never start anything before it's finished. Meaning you should have a plan of start to finish before you start. Not to say that you can't alter that plan, not to say that things won't go wrong. You need to make pivots and adjustments along the way, but you should, in fact, never even start a day that's not even finished. So the idea is at night before you go to bed, here's a habit I'm establishing for 2023. Before I go to bed at night, I'm going to recap the day. One of the things we tend to not do enough of is pat ourselves on the back. So this journal has 6 prompt questions to help you recap your day. A moment that I really appreciate today. We have to reflect on the good and not just the bad. A lot of times when we do our reflection, it's the things that went wrong. Man, I really messed that up. That's cool. But what did you get right that day? Right? A situation or task I handled well today. See, you're affirming the positive before you go to sleep. You think it's going to help you attack your day positively when you wake up in the morning? Something I realized I learned today was, you fill in the blank. I could have made today even better if something that could have helped me feel more connected to others today would have been if I was my own high performance coach, what would I tell myself today about today? Right? Plan. Be intentional with those plans and make sure that those plans are in alignment with principles and processes that will get you the results that you want, right? You're just tuning in. We're talking 8 habits of unsuccessful, unproductive people that you want to avoid. Number 5 on the list, and then we're going to get to our brand new segment called Portrait of a Millionaire. But let's get through number 5 first. So number 5 on our list is majoring in minor things. We're talking 8 habits of unproductive people. Unproductive people major in the minors, right? Many productive people are quite busy and even look busy to others, but being busy and being productive aren't the same. They aren't the same. Focus on the most effective course of action. Avoid any activities that don't provide significant results for the amount of time required. I go back to my lack of focus when I get the little bell notification that somebody commented on one of my posts. I'm over here doing a high income activity, but I get this notification and I stop doing that, break my momentum, to go see that somebody just gave a thumbs up on one of my posts. That's not the most productive thing to do. You got to set a time that says, hey, between this time and this time in the morning, I'm going to check my notifications for everybody who engaged with me last night. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to check my notifications and connect with everybody who engaged with me then. And then before I go off to bed, I'm going to check those notifications one more time. But I can't let them interrupt me every 5 minutes, right? I'm just saying, figure out a process that is based on a principle that will lead to the results. Because when you start seeing the results, you will be more encouraged to cement that habit. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our brand new segment here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And today, hey, what's going on, Rev Cleo in the building? Alan, what's up, my friend? It's been a while since we've connected. So today, we're going to launch a new segment for the Cortez Hustle Show called Portrait of a Millionaire, right? I read this book, The Millionaire Next Door. I told y'all I have certain books that I read every year. So I'm restarting this one. And I thought, I talk about this book a lot. Let me incorporate it into something that I'm doing frequently. So this new segment, y'all, bear with me as I got to get it organized and all of that stuff. But this new segment is called Portrait of a Millionaire. We're going to study what real wealthy people look like versus what TV and media shows us what wealthy people look like, because chances are you're living next door to a millionaire and don't even know it. Let's get to Portrait of a Millionaire.
Hard work.
Whoops, that's not the intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Portrait of a Millionaire right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Portrait of a Millionaire gives you an inside look at what a real millionaire looks like. Every segment of Portrait of a Millionaire, we're going to give you the 7 factors of millionaire success, and then we're going to give you a picture of what that looks like. So what are the 7 factors? They live below their means. They allocate their time, energy, and money efficiently in ways conducive to building wealth. They believe that financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. Their parents did not provide economic outpatient care. Their adult children are economically sufficient. They are proficient in targeting market opportunities. They choose the right occupations. So what does today's millionaire look like? Always remember this stat. 80% of all today's millionaires are first generation wealthy. That means they built their wealth. It wasn't handed to them by their parents, their grandparents. It wasn't an inheritance or any of that. So let's get to the portrait. Today's portrait says this about millionaires today. About 1 in 5 of us is retired. About 2/3 of us who are working Interestingly, self-employed people make up less than 20% of the workers in America, but account for 2/3 of the millionaires. Also, 3 out of 4 of us who are self-employed consider ourselves to be entrepreneurs. Most of the others are self-employed professionals, such as doctors and accountants. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a greater chance of becoming wealthy, entrepreneurship and self-employment changes and moves the needle more than anything else. 2/3 of today's millionaires are self-employed. They account for less than 20% of the working population, but more than 2/3 of wealthy people. So we're talking about habits of successful people. Wealthy people tend to have a habit to start and run businesses. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Portrait of a Millionaire right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the St. Louis Griffins professional basketball franchise. If you're in the St. Louis marketplace and you want a unique and fun way to promote your business, go to stlouisgriffins.com/partnerships. There are some interesting ways that you can partner with this new professional basketball franchise and get in front of thousands of new potential customers. stlouisgriffins.com/partnership. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on this journey. My man Mark says you are right. Assets over liabilities. And that's the thing, right? So you can't wear an asset, Mark, in a lot of cases, right? You might be able to wear a piece of solid gold, but for the most part, you don't wear your assets. So people don't know you own them. People don't know that you're wealthy because you don't wear that stuff, right? But you got a lot of people wearing stuff that are liabilities all day, every day. Like, come on. You go buy $1,000 suit, you put it on one time and it's worth $200. You go buy $1,000 suit, wear it, and then try to go sell it for $1,000. Good luck. All right. So we're talking 8 habits of unsuccessful people. Number 5 on the list was they major in minor things. Many productive people are quite busy and even look busy to others, but being busy and being productive is not the same thing. Number 6 on our list. This is a big one. We're talking 8 habits of unsuccessful people. Number 6, they tend to have a habit of giving up. You can't be productive if you give up too soon. Productivity is about what you do, how well you do it, how fast you do it, and how much time you spend doing it. If it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, then put the time in. But watch this. I used to share this with my basketball players when I was a coach in the AAU circuit here in St. Louis locally, right? It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert, right? That's what the studies show. If you practice 1 hour a day, I would ask them this. If you practice one hour a day, how long then would it take for you to become a professional or become an expert, right? And they will guess, oh, it'll take a couple years. It'll take, this, that. If you're trying to get to 10,000 hours and you practice 1 hour a day, do you realize it'll take 26 years for you to get 10,000 hours in? And they were blown away. Because here we are, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, some of them want to play professionally. So if you're practicing 1 hour a day and you're already 15 years old, it's going to take you 26 years to get successful. So you're not going to become a professional skill-wise until you're 36. But then we start reverse engineering that thing. What if you practice 2 hours a day? Then it's going to take me 13 years, coach. What if you practice 4 hours a day? Then it's going to take me roughly 6 years. Well, hey, if you're 15 and you got a habit of going hard 4 hours a day, you think about 4 hours a day for 7 years, that means you're 22, 23 years old coming out of college with a skill set that can pay you multiple millions. But people have a habit of giving up, throwing in the towel. And it's largely because of what they think other people are thinking about them. Oh yeah, that's the foundation of most people's fear, is what you think other people will think about what you're doing. Yeah, that's where we are, right? So we're talking 8 habits of unsuccessful people. Number 7 on our list is worrying. It's fine to have concern and then address those concerns. However, worrying is an unproductive habit. It wastes time and makes you less effective. The difference between worrying and having concerns. Worrying, as they say, is paying interest on a loan that you may never receive. Think about it. I'm worrying about something that might or might not happen tomorrow. So I'm taking energy of today and expending it in the future. Well, that energy obviously is better served to help me get through what's happening today. As the Bible says, today has enough concern for itself. There's enough in today for you to be concerned about that you can't even afford to take any of today's concern, attention, energy, and effort and try to focus it on tomorrow. There's enough stuff going on in your life today that needs all of you today, but you worrying about what could happen next week, what could happen next month. You stressed out. That's an unproductive habit, right? Before we get to number 8 on the list, we got to take a quick commercial break, pay some bills. So we'll get to number 8 and then we'll recap right after these messages. Hey, yo, my friend, let me ask you something real quick. Are you a coach, consultant, influencer with an expertise in a particular area and you're looking to grow or expand a business, make some extra money online, start a side hustle? If you are, then this is for you. What do you know about PLR? It stands for private label rights. That means there are sites that you can go to on the web where you can buy content that is already written, everything from ebooks to video courses written by subject matter experts in your field of expertise that you can add to, take away from, rebrand, repackage, sell it as your own, and keep all of the profits. I know, crazy, right? But it's no different than a ghostwriter who writes books for authors. It's no different than a ghostwriter who writes raps or songs for other people. No different than a screenwriter who writes a screenplay, sells it to a big studio, they make the movie, and they make all the money and get all of the credit. You can do that in the digital marketing online business space, and you can have a product launched in 3 to 7 days. I've got a free guide that you can access by going to monetizemylifeblueprint.com. It'll show you the top 7 ways that people are making money right now from this type of content. So go to monetizemylifeblueprint.com, check it out for yourself. Now, let's get back to the episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. All we want to do is see you win, no matter what, ladies and gentlemen. And we got the tools, templates, training, resources, and support to help you do just that. So we were on our last of these 8 habits of unsuccessful people. And habit number 8, and my man Cedric Eichelberger mentioned it earlier in the show. Habit number 8, procrastination. You can't get anything accomplished if you never even get started. As they say, it's the start that stops most people. And I find that to be true. I will sit back sometimes and I will just kind of contemplate, strategize, and it's like, man, I don't know what to do and I don't know how this thing is going to turn out. And I'm just thinking. But when you get started, something miraculous happens. Just like if you ever found yourself in a situation where car broke down. I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in the hood, and I remember driving hoopties, and I remember sometimes that thing wouldn't start. I remember being out too late at night where sometimes it's time to go home and public transportation is no longer running, and you have no other choice. You can call your friends, your homeboys, your homegirls. Hey, man, I need a ride. Can you hook a brother up? And nobody's available. And you finally come to the conclusion that, man, I'm going to have to walk. And what happens? You regrettably take that first step, and then you take that next step, and then you just get on down the road. And eventually you get so far down the road that you get to what they call the point of no return. I can't go back. I might as well keep going. And then you start thinking about something, and you start not even tripping off the distance, how far you got to go. You're just getting it done. And before long, you at that destination. The same thing happens when you start a project. The same thing happens when you get started anything, right? The most resistance is the start, right? The law of inertia says it's going to take a lot more energy and effort to get this thing going. But once you get it going, it's going to take a lot less effort to keep it going, right? The law of momentum. Like you're going to have to overcome inertia to get this thing going, right? If you've ever had to push a car, again, going back to my hood and my hoopty days, if you've ever had to push a car, it takes a lot of energy to get the car started to move. But then once it's moving, it takes a lot less energy to keep it moving. The same thing happens in your activities, right? Just get them started. And most of us are wired in a way that says, and give me a 1 in the comment if you agree, I never want to quit anything that I start. And that's the hack that I have. So I know if I get started, I got to see it through. If I can just force myself to get started, then I'm going to stay with it and I'm going to see it through. But overcoming the getting started part is the challenge. And if you know that about yourself, then you got to figure out, okay, how can I force myself to get started? If I can just force myself to get started, I know the type of person I am. I'm going to complete it to the end, but it requires me to force myself to get started, right? So Mark says he's that way too. Can't start anything without finishing, right? If you must procrastinate, at least use the time to do something else that's productive, right? Going for a run is a better way of procrastinating than eating a hot fudge sundae, right? So my wife is on me all the time, and she would tell me, you know, sometimes I'm so intense and I'm so focused on getting something done. She encourages me often. Sometimes you got to get up and walk away from it and then come back to it, and you see it with fresh eyes. So in true husband fashion, I don't listen, right? But then when I read Brendan Burchard's High Performance Habits, that's one of the high performance habits. He said he never sits down and works for more than 50 minutes without getting up, doing some micro exercises, getting up, going for a walk around the office, getting up, going to get some fresh air. He never works for more than 50 minutes straight. And I want you to think about this. When you are on your job and you sit down to work the first time in the morning, 90% of us, that's our most productive time. Because you're like fresh, we're good, we're ready to go, and we go hard, right? Now imagine having that same type of energy and attitude 5, 6, or 7 times throughout the day, how much more productive you can be. He said he never sits down at any task for more than 50 minutes straight without a break. I was like, man, interesting. My honey been telling me that, and I ain't been listening. So we all have the same amount of time each day. The most productive people are also the most successful. If you have big goals and you are productive and working towards those goals, you're going to be a highly successful person. Eliminate the habits that are reducing your productivity, and you will be in the best position to start getting more things done. You'll be surprised how much you can actually accomplish, right? Yeah, Mark says, think of all those call centers. It's exactly it. It's exactly it. They get super productive out of their people because they know how to give them breaks at the appropriate time. So, man, this week has flown by. Again, if you are not in our private Facebook groups, we've got two primary groups that we are consolidating things into. I know you might be seeing this inside of Financially Lit Fathers. You might be seeing this inside of Wealth Creation Playbook. But really, Digital Empire Builders Worldwide is the focus. Because I believe building a digital empire is easier than it has ever been before, more practical than it has ever been before. Think about it. If you went to personal branding, if you went to Monetize My Life Blueprint and got that guide, it'll show you that for less than $25, you can have a digital product and something to sell online. If you're using these platforms, you might as well be making money from them, right? These platforms, when you set them up correctly, work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, something you can't do physically, right? So building a digital empire, that's why that group is so important to me. Local Biz Marketing Mastermind, there's a difference between building a business online and virtually, and those who have local storefronts, those who are in the community. They have a slightly different set of problems. A lot of those people still don't trust or believe in the internet as an effective tool to bring them new business. So those are the two groups: Local Biz Marketing Mastermind, Digital Empire Builders Worldwide. One is primarily for those who are building businesses virtually. The other is for those of us who actually have storefront businesses. We're actually trying to impact the community, local politics, the whole nine. So those are the two groups that we'll be spending most of our time. And that's where our training weekly happens live. So if you're not in those groups, check those out. And I appreciate you guys. I'm hoping that you all enjoy your weekend and get ready for a productive week. Next week, Monday, for Dr. King celebration, we have a very special guest coming to hang out with us. And we're going to be talking about economic empowerment for the Black community. And one of the best ways to do that everybody can participate in, I don't care if you're Black, white, brown, yellow, red, if you're trying to build wealth, there's one surefire way to do it, right? There's 4 ways to accumulate wealth in America. You can buy it, build it, steal it, or inherit it. We're going to be talking about one of those ways on Monday with our special guest, Mr. AL. So y'all want to tune in for that. But until then, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.